now live on YouTube, Alpha, and Facebook. We're live every day at 1 p.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday, breaking down all of the pop culture news, theories, and spoilers from movies, TV, video games, and more. Folks, it's Thor's Day. Oh, and we have a huge show for you today, so let's just get right into it. Joining us today is Nerdist senior editor and host of The Dan Cave, Dan Casey. Yay, Dan.
Hello.
Everybody's here to see you, Dan. No,
yep, that's right.
That's a lie.
I'm the only reason.
And also joining us is a super special guest. You might have saw him when we shot to Dan. He's the mastermind behind movies like What We Do in the Shadows and Hunt for the Wilder People. And now he's here to promote a small little indie film called Thor Ragnarok, director Taika Waititi. Yay!
Surprise!
Surprise!
Bet you didn't know I was here.
More set photos spoiled your appearance today.
Thanks for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me join. Thank you for making me join you.
Of course, it was our
Thank
pleasure.
you for forcing me to be here.
Yes, doors locked from the outside.
That's right. This is a very realistic lounge room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this show is an escape room. Good luck.
So before we get into today's show, we've been running a Monster Madness bracket to figure out who is the biggest badass monster of them all. So let's check in with Michelle, who's actually here today, our social media manager, to give us yesterday's results and set up today's match. Michelle, take it away.
Thanks, all 10 of you in chat who asked where I was. Yesterday was Fing Fang Foom versus Cthulhu. Cthulhu, 88% goes to the semifinals. Yeah. Today we've got Godzilla versus Maleficent. So go twitter.com/Nerdist, cast your vote. Who would win in a fight? Who's your vote for, Taika?
Between Godzilla and Maleficent.
Mm-hmm.
Maleficent, that's...
Ooh, interesting.
She's got this horn things.
I think it's Dragon Maleficent, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she could theoretically
there's
turn
different
into whatever.
versions of those, are there?
She's magic. She can
into
kind
a
of be whatever she
yeah.
wants to be, I think.
But the only way to kill her...
Godzilla can't fly, can he?
No, he can't.
She can,
No.
She can fly.
Yeah,
She can only fly
She
in
has
the-
the height advantage.
But she can only fly in the live action, not in the animated series. This is super nerdy. Sorry. Moving on.
Godzilla has like
Don't worry.
crazy
It's
lightning
okay
breath.
because the title of this entire thing makes it very appropriate for
Yeah.
you guys.
Actually,
Jock
that's a good
stuff,
point.
Talking like this.
news.
Yeah, totally. Sports. Now, folks, we are going to try and keep this as spoiler-free as possible, unless, of course, Taika wants to give us an exclusive,
Oh, I'm terrible.
as one does.
I'm giving away everything.
So, Taika, this is easily one of the most anticipated Marvel films in recent history. The trailers, the tone, the humor, and the cast are really getting people excited for Thor Ragnarok. So how are you handling all the hype?
Well, I've seen it, so I'm not excited at all. No, it's not.
Does it
I'm
make
not
you
hyped
nervous?
about this film whatsoever. Nervous.
About how people are going to accept it or not?
Well, I can't change anything now, so I know that people love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big relief. If you're locked in a room for a year editing these films, and it gets very lonely in there. And it's you and an editor or two, and some snacks, and you often think to yourself, will people like this? If I just am I the Jenga block at the bottom of the Marvel Tower that I'm pulling out that's going to topple everything, or is this going to be a great film that everyone's going to love? Luckily, it's the latter. Mm-hmm. It is a film that everyone loves.
How do you make your decisions when you're in the editing room then, knowing that there is a story kind of already in place with fans because of the comics, but then you know that you need to have certain beats and certain jokes that you want to include? How do you balance that out between what you want and then the character?
Well, that's really what Marvel's there for. They kind of keep me,
They tell you,
keep me in the right
"Nope."
lane. If
Yeah.
I'm like veering off, I liken it to directing these films is like driving a big ship, and I'm sort of steering, and then I look over into the horizon, I see something really interesting, and I go, oh, let's go and drive into that and see what that is. And then Marvel might say, Taika, that's an iceberg. Why don't we just keep it over here, and then let's keep it in this direction here. So yeah, it's very helpful having them there, and they know like what they want from the source material, what they want to see the character doing. I would just come in and just say, I just want this tone and this kind of dialogue, and I want it to be fun, or I want this cool moment. And if we both align, myself and Marvel, and what we want, then we're in a good place.
Nice. Well, the tone of Ragnarok is a lot more playful compared to the first Thor and Thor: The Dark World's seriousness. So what did you see in Thor that led you to try and approach it as a action comedy?
Well, really, Chris. That was his comedic side was very much untapped in a lot of the other films.
I think he really blossoms with comedy. Like he's just great with it.
Even in Ghostbusters, you see him in Ghostbusters, he's fantastic in that. It's just something that I guess people can't believe that someone that good looking could also be talented and with comedy as well. And it's infuriating that he is. But
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I'm glad he's just showing
I know.
stereotypes.
His abs are hilarious.
Yeah. There's too many.
Yeah. So yeah, the main focus really was just to make Thor the coolest character in the film, and he's I think he is.
Yeah, there's such great humor and chemistry between Chris and the whole cast. Honestly, it's a really funny movie. There was one part where I was laughing so hard my vision went blurry, which I'm not going to spoil here because sort of.
Yeah.
Eventually.
What part was it?
It's towards the end. It involves the Hulk.
Yes. I know the bit you're talking about.
Yep. And
that actually just was very out of focus, that particular shot.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I can cancel
It wasn't as funny as you thought it was.
I can cancel my appointment with my optometrist, so that is a huge relief. There's been a lot of talk about how you wanted to incorporate improvisation on set. Do you have a favorite improvised moment, or maybe a moment that didn't make it into the final cut?
Basically, I feel there are going to be 10 extra DVDs of deleted and extended scenes, most of which involve Jeff Goldblum. Being Jeff Goldblum and riffing and improvising. We had very long improvised sessions where there's one bit where I think we just had Jeff talking for an hour, just non-stop, just about whatever topic I'd throw at him and just feed him lines and stuff. And he's a genius, and he can do that all day long, and it's legitimately hilarious, every single thing. So I want people to see that in the bonus features at some point.
Was there any talk about having Jeff, who is an accomplished jazz musician, maybe do a cover of any of the songs in the movie?
These guys go and see him like one
We've seen him a couple times now.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Incredible.
He did play a lot of jazz in a particular scene when he was playing the sort of space piano. We changed that music a bit because I just felt like sort of scatty jazz wasn't really right for Sakaar and for the alien planet. And he did sing the Sakarian national anthem in one part, and so that'll be somewhere to be seen at some point. It's not in the film at the moment.
Fantastic.
Cool. Well, we do have some questions from Twitter. So at Hasnain Khalid, hopefully I said that right, on Twitter asks, what challenges did you face in directing, trying to show your vision of the film while at the same time falling into the overall story of the MCU? So somewhat similar to what I asked you before.
Yeah, okay, I'll answer clearly and better than I did before. I've already thought about that question now. The hardest thing really was keeping track of all of the characters and where they kind of fit in, and also all the other films and where they all tie into each other. And in the end, I gave up. Because it's just too much. And all these Infinity Stones and stuff, I can't keep track of that. I find that stuff fascinating, but every time I thought I knew something, someone said, no, that's not the Soul Stone. That's I don't know where all this stuff is.
You fool! How could you think that?
Yeah, exactly. And I felt, it made me feel really stupid, but then also I'm successful and good looking, so who cares? So.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys.
No,
I feel
appreciate that way of approaching your day-to-day life.
Yeah, if you just, when in doubt, just look in the mirror and give yourself a thumbs up. If you feel really dumb, just give up. What else did I find on that shoot that was hard? I mean, really, the hardest thing really was just trying not to laugh, mainly, on set. That's the main thing. We had such fun, and all of those actors were such great people. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't have any horror stories from this movie. I wish I had some real. I wish I had some really horrible tales to tell.
There were those grisly murders, but
incidental. That. Well, speaking that everybody was having such a good time on set. I mean, this question comes up a little later, but I'm gonna move it up to here. Did you guys pull any pranks on anybody? Was it kind of goofy behind the scenes, or was it just that everybody was just having a good time?
I think it's just more that everyone's having a good time. We play a lot of music and there's a lot of dancing. There's a lot of I think people appreciating A, that they've got a job, and B, that we're working in the film industry where we're very lucky because we come to work and just put on silly clothes and pretend things for a living, and that is reason to celebrate.
Yeah.
So I made sure that everyone remembered that.
Awesome. Well, Feige mentioned yesterday that your character from Ragnarok, Korg, could get a spin-off or may appear in some other things. So have there been any discussions about that with Marvel?
No, there haven't been any discussions. I feel very odd about that. I love that character. I think he's great. I think he just belongs. I think he just should just come in and small doses of him. I'm not sure.
He's the last Infinity Stone.
He is the Infinity Stone. That's exactly right.
It's a huge spoiler for Infinity War.
And Thanos is going to take his head and stick it in his glove. And
poor Korg. Jetpack Paul on Twitter had a question, and this is one that I love. He asked, did the Skux Life choose Thor, and was he worthy of it?
The Skux Life did choose Thor, and you can see that just in his new attitude and the way that he's a lot more. He's actually. I don't think that Thor is a lot more earthly and colloquial in this version. He's. I feel like he's been on Earth and he's hung out with people like Ricky Baker and Tony Stark, and he's learned a bit of sarcasm and he's got. He's exercised that irony muscle.
He walks a little more normal.
He walks more normal.
Well, but for the first movie,
Chris
it's always
really
like this.
He lost that Asgardian
and then now
gait.
it was always like this, and now it's just like he's just walking, and I'm like,
no, he's just walking
just
normally.
Yeah,
Well, it took Chris a long time to figure out walking acting, and 6 films later, he's nailed it.
They used to have Andy Serkis do all of his walking scenes.
Just the
CG his head on.
CG the face. All right, so from the footage released so far, it's clear that a lot of the film was inspired by the epic Thor run by Walt Simonson. How much did that run influence the film, and were there any moments or characters that you had to leave by the wayside that you wanted to include?
Oh, there were probably many characters that got left by the wayside. But one of my favorite moments is, I'm probably not giving it away too much. It involves Scourge, played by Carl or Keith Urban. Keith, as we like to call him. So so there's that stuff there. I mean, a lot of there's a nice little mention of Frog Thor in the play. You haven't seen it, have you?
I've seen it.
He has.
Yes.
I haven't.
Yes.
There's that. That's a Simonson thing. Obviously, Surtur. He says, he drops the word doom, which is a big thing from the Ragnarok run. When we took other things from God of Thunder, where you have Gore, the God Butcher, the weapons that Hela uses are all taken from that series. I mean, we basically just stole from everything.
Oh, okay.
But it's so cool to see that kind of art come to life, all this stuff, from like the Walt Simonson run, seeing like Jack Kirby inspired pieces actually like made physical, because you look at them on the page and they're these wild psychedelic things, then you see Sakaar and you see the Grandmaster's Arena, and it's wild.
Yeah.
Did you have a scene or a moment in the movie that you were sort of proudest to pull off and be able to see realized on the big screen?
I think the Thor versus Hulk fight is one of my favorite moments in the film, because it's a debate that's been going on for many, many years between, if you read any of the blogs, it's like, but Hulk's invincible, but Thor's a god. And I just love pitting those two against each other, because it's something I've wanted to see for a long time. And then, but also the arena and the whole, the fact that everyone in town comes to see this fight, and you've got those Kirby-inspired designs all through the arena, and and this actual Kirby art in the VIP box where Grandmaster and Loki are sitting. That's just cool. It really showcases everything that we're aiming for in the design and the color and just that sort of bold, vivid look. That we attribute mostly to Kirby.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I want to see next time, instead of Tupac at Coachella, I want another giant holographic Jeff Goldblum.
Doing scatty jazz.
Exactly.
So we know that you can't confirm or deny this question, but can you confirm or deny that there are Infinity Stones in play in Thor Ragnarok?
There are. Yeah, sure there are.
Okay.
I mean, I can.
I'll take that as a confirmation.
I can definitely until someone proves me wrong, until someone who actually knows about this stuff.
Here's what Taika Waititi got wrong about his own movie.
There are no Infinity Stones, just Affinity Stones. It's finite. Also, there are a finite number of stones. They should rename them.
They're really just like cosmic Moncala beads.
There's not Infinity. Yeah.
That's
Thor went
so
off to find the Infinity Stones. I thought at the end of Ultron, you're going to be gone a long time, mate.
Yeah. Well, it lends itself to a never-ending story, the kind that Marvel's trying to tell.
All right, so we've got a couple of non-Thor related questions for you. Now, you worked extensively as a writer and director on Flight of the Conchords. Love that show, by the way. Do you know anything more about the return to TV, potentially?
Well, as I think I've clearly demonstrated, I know nothing about anything that I've worked on. And there's a classic case of that. I don't really know. I know that they've been working on a film idea for a while. So I think, if anything, they'll probably...
Oh, Flight of the Conchords film?
Yeah, Flight of the Conchords. Those guys have been talking about making a film for years, almost as long as Jermaine and I have been talking about making a sequel to What We Do in the Shadows.
Can you tell us anything about werewolves?
It's still not even written. We have tried. We're notoriously slow. So What We Do in the Shadows took about 6 years to write, and our writing process is literally this. I get an email saying, "What if Stu turns into a werewolf?" And I'll write back, "Yeah, okay, maybe." And that'll be a month later. He'll write back, "Yeah, I really think he should turn into a werewolf." And I go, "Okay, we'll write it in the script." That's why it took so long. But hey, good things take time.
Yes.
Or do they?
You gotta let them
Maybe
percolate.
it didn't need to take that much time.
You gotta let them sit. It's like a good chili.
You just gotta mark the email urgent.
So basically, but we've decided on a title for the film, Werewolves. So that's the main thing. All we need now is a poster.
And then it writes itself.
And then it pretty much, then you have to...
then the rest, you just set up some cameras and you'll do it on the day.
Should do it like the studio system. Just decide on a date to release the film, and then you have to make the damn film.
There you go.
Oh no, just 2 hours of blank screen.
2 hours of cool title.
So shifting gears a little bit, recently there were reports that you were in talks with Warner Brothers to direct an adaptation of Akira. And this is something that has been attempted and talked about for years. There's been so many people attached to this.
I'm just about to look at. I'm just going to look at all the feeds coming out with all the people who start saying, "Leave it alone. It's perfect as it is. Don't touch it."
Yeah. Well, how would you respond to people that say it's unadaptable for live action?
They may be right. They may be right. Look, I don't even know if I'm going to do this. I just started talking. I was just talking to them. God, don't hassle me for talking to these people. The thing is, I've always been a huge fan of Akira. I would like to point out, though, I have no interest in making a remake of the anime, more an adaptation of the books. Because don't forget, there are 5 other books that weren't touched in the original movie.
Interesting.
Now,
Interesting.
That I think that is a very smart move.
The movie's fine. It doesn't need to be remade.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't just redo what's already been done.
No.
Now
Smart.
I'm curious about with anime adaptations, in particular in manga adaptations. Why do you think that they are? I feel like traditionally they've been harder to pull off than comic book adaptations, even though they're both essentially comics in a sense. What do you think is one of the reasons behind that? Or do you disagree with that line of thinking entirely?
No, I don't. Hey, no, I'm on your guys' side. I don't know. I just feel like it's such early days. I wouldn't even know really where to start. You know, I mean, I think maybe it should just be photographs. Maybe I should just film the pages.
Just narration.
And just turn the pages for everyone and just have that for 17 hours.
With Jeff Goldblum as Tetsuo.
That might be the best way to do it. Yeah. Maybe just Jeff Goldblum reading all the lines.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Canada,
Tetsuo.
Tetsuo.
That's pretty fucking brilliant.
It could be black and white. Black and white and silent with
like an old French
with
film
Jeff,
kind of
with Jeff playing jazz over the top, and then cards, cards in between, like the artist of cards.
See? This is how a script gets written.
And the Oscar goes too.
What do you think of this?
Akira flips out once more and sets off Atomic Explosion 52.
Neo Tokyo.
Neo Tokyo. How many Tokyos are there in those
to
books?
point out, Taika, the 99.9% of the chat says do it. So
Do it. What do they mean, though? Do they
because-
mean do it? And are they talking about like a sort of threesome sort of situation, or are they talking about a film?
I think the minute you said from the manga, they were in. There's a lot of support
It should only be from the manga.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so you have, shifting gears quite a bit here, but you have been consistently crushing it fashion-wise with eye-catching outfits. What do you predict is the next big fashion trend next season?
Scruffy shirts that are untucked, wrinkly pants.
Derelict, it's back.
Derelict, oh yeah, and some sort of artisan sort of like indigo threaded. I mean, look at these. That's all done on purpose.
Qualities, yeah, good stitching.
It's supposed to look like some sort of like a kind of extra in Rashomon.
I don't remember that character in Rashomon.
Yeah, he's one of the people sitting out in the rain.
One of the movies you
Oh,
wouldn't want
yes.
to be an extra for.
I can't predict because I'm not a soothsayer.
Just
I'm
a
not
tastemaker.
seer. I'm just a tastemaker. I make taste based on. Here's my. This is how I approach fashion. I don't know anything about fashion. I don't know the rules. I don't know what you're supposed to combine with which or what, and this or that. I literally wear what smells okay in the morning.
Yeah.
That's a good rule
yeah.
to live by,
Every once
but
in a
one
while.
that I can't live by.
See,
It's not my fault that every piece of clothing I own is incredible.
Dan
Yeah.
doesn't have a sense of smell, and I do the old, like, how dirty is this? And go dig in, and I'm like, that's not too
Yeah.
bad. I can do that for a day if I
good.
put on a lot of perfume.
Yeah, every day is sort of nasal Russian roulette for me.
It's good in here. It's smelling
A
fashionable.
powerful musk.
Several people in chat have asked where you got your jacket actually. So
This I got from a store called Liberty in London.
see, there you go.
See, there you go. Height of
Probably
fashion.
paid way too much for it.
Well, you'll have to go there to find out.
What's the
Chat?
tag, sir? Actually, no, I don't want you guys to.
You didn't take
I
the
want
tags
other
off?
people wearing this.
This is one of a kind,
Yeah.
artisanal,
I want to tell
bespoke.
people I made this.
Yeah.
No, this old thing I made.
Oh, I made this on set during my downtime.
Oh yeah, and I made this shirt complete with the microphone.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
It's a lovely pin. Now, a lot of folks who wind up working
How many?
with Marvel, I'd say approximately between 3 and 50.
That is a lot.
Yeah, for people who work on things at Marvel or Star Wars and the Disney universe end up working on other projects with Disney. If you could bring any other story to life for Disney or Star Wars, what would it be if you sort of like blue sky it? They're like, hey Taika, here's a Star Wars story.
I've always loved the Legend of Blue Sky, the little known Disney film that was lost, was burned in a fire back in the 30s.
It was a terrible fire.
Blue Sky, the story of a carton of milk.
Are you trolling?
And
Are you being
adventures
serious?
of-
right
No,
now?
it was lost
Is
in
this
the
really?
giant fire that
I'm like, am
I
I
had
being
no
trolled
idea.
right
It burned
now?
down the original
I don't want to get
Disneyland.
it wrong. I mean, I'm going to get a Disney film mixed up with like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon or something. I'm going to
Look, they have enough money.
I don't know anything.
They can buy Hanna-Barbera.
Disney film. I mean, wouldn't it be? I mean, it's
Where's
actually
the
probably
character?
impossible. Here's the most impossible thing I think to make: would be Fantasia.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
I think it'd be wild. A live-action Fantasia. I mean,
It's a bunch of short films, isn't it?
yeah. I mean,
Night on
Searcher.
Bald Mountain, though, would be pretty
Oh,
awesome.
man, the full-length Night
Yeah.
on Bald
Yeah.
Mountain.
The Chernobog.
Yeah, Searcher is a pretty good precursor to Chernobog.
It is true. That's true.
That was one of my favorites.
Is it the same one with the little dancing ladies
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
pigs and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then he
yeah.
crushes them, and then they turn into. I got that memorized. It's my
Man,
favorite.
audiences.
You get your
were
script supervisor
really
right
had
here.
I'm on
way
board.
more open minds back in those days, didn't they?
I am on board for that one. All right, so we know that you are now one of the Marvel and film world gatekeepers, so we have a series of rapid fire questions for you that are so hot and dangerous that if you answer them wrong, you could get fired, I guess. I don't know
I'm
who
going to
would
stare
do that.
right into the
but-
barrel of the camera as
All
you-
right, hot seat time. Answer wisely. This is rapid fire. Ready?
Yep.
What's in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction?
Pixie heads.
Okay. Okay.
Oddly specific.
Who are Ray's parents?
Ray's parents,
Yes.
sun and shine.
Okay. Does the top stop spinning in Inception?
Oh, Is the top spinning, or is the top still, and the world is spinning around?
Oh, damn! Kirk or Picard?
Warp, warp. I should have done that straight away. But you fed that to me. That's good. Okay.
Kirk or Picard?
Picard.
Does Captain America die in Infinity War?
What's Infinity War?
Alright,
Also, Infinity War. That's a long movie. That's going to be a long movie. I mean,
you know
will
what?
it ever stop?
How about we
Because
get
of
some
Blade Runner
Infinity
being 3
Peace?
hours, they're working us towards that now.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Feels like
It'll be a fiver.
must
we're never
be
gonna know.
life.
Which Chris are you?
Miss.
Well done. Will Green Lantern be in Justice League? Does Heimdall have the last Infinity Stone?
He's got dreadlocks. He probably smoked it.
What's your viewing order of Star Wars?
Oh. 3, 4, 5.
And that's where it ends. What did Bill,
shit, did I get away with that?
That's fair.
what did Bill Murray whisper to Scarlett Johansson at the end of Lost in Translation?
Oh. He was drunk.
He's like, I don't want to be in this movie, just act like I'm talking to you. Is Luke Skywalker turning to the dark side?
He said, I'm a spy. They're following me.
They're following me.
This is
Get
a
me out.
documentary. There's a shot like a documentary. There's people with cameras. Sophia Coppola's following me this entire time. Okay, what was the next question?
Is Luke Skywalker turning to the dark side?
Or is he the dark side? And the entire time he's been playing the Emperor off against the rebels, and Luke is forming his own faction. And we're all about to find that out in Ryan's new film that comes out this. Why am I advertising his film?
It's vertical integration, all part of the same parent
there you
company.
go. That's a good that's a good reason. All right, last question of this. What is your favorite Easter egg from Thor Ragnarok?
Oh, an actual Easter egg. If you look closely, you have to go right up to the screen when you're in the movie. In a big wide shot of Sakaar and the big junk planet, there's an actual Easter egg. It's about this big. And it's sort of like about 200 feet away from the camera. Chocolate with caramel inside.
Is it a Cadbury?
It's a Cadbury.
The true Infinity Stone.
Did you
Cadbury
eat
cream
the
egg.
Easter egg after?
What's that?
Did you eat the Easter egg after?
Oh no, it's still there.
It's still
It's
on
still
Sakaar.
there. It's still on Sakaar.
Phew. Just checking.
What is the best Easter egg? No, nothing.
Nothing.
Cadbury.
They're
I
all-
wouldn't know. Probably. It's probably an Infinity Stone.
All right, so one last
Infinity
question.
egg.
One last question that we have to ask. All of these interviews are always looking for some noodle of new information that we can dangle over the heads of all
Yes,
our
you will
competitors.
see Beta Ray Bill, but that's a good Easter egg.
Oh, there
His
we go.
head is on the side of the Tower of Champions, the Grandmaster's Tower there. So you will see Beta
Nice.
Ray there for you. I just saw that there. Yeah.
Fantastic. See, Chat does a better interviewing job than I do. Thank
I
you,
keep
Chat.
interrupting you. You wanted to say one last thing. Sorry.
All right, so one last thing is that we, all of these interview companies and everybody that gets together, they're always trying to get a little nugget of information that the other ones don't have so that they can look like the cool kids on the block. So knowing that, what kind of information do you have so that we can look like the cool kids on the block?
About Thor? About
Yeah.
the film?
That won't get you in trouble.
I don't have any representatives with me to stop me from
Did that
talking.
on purpose.
Damn it, you locked them out. They're banging on the door saying, shut your goddamn mouth.
Cut the
Taika."
feed!
I'm
I
so
ask
nervous about saying anything.
Chat wants to know what are you doing next? If there's anything you can say.
Oh, okay. Well, one thing I'm doing next is I'm working on a stop motion film with Starburns Industries called Bubbles, and it's about Michael Jackson's chimpanzee. And it's sort of looks at the life of Michael Jackson through the eyes of his chimp, and it's all stop motion.
Whoa.
That's
okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When's that coming out? Do you know yet?
probably in 16 years.
Okay, cool.
Those things take a long time.
I'll be
as I say, I'm very
still
sorry.
around, knocking on glass, I guess, is when
Well, that'll be the new thing in 16 years.
Yeah, there you go, because there won't be any wood left because all the trees will be dead.
That's right. Everything will be made of glass. Doing that, and then a few other little projects. And I'll definitely come back and work with Marvel again.
Awesome.
Depending on how things go with this.
Well,
I have a feeling it'll go pretty okay.
It looks like everything's going really well. Also, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on Thor Ragnarok. I know that you loved it, and I'm looking very forward to seeing it as well. So make sure that you guys catch Thor Ragnarok in theaters on November 3rd. Thanks again for joining us. And we've got another big show on Monday where we'll be breaking down Stranger Things 2, so make sure that you start your binge as soon as possible. Also, make sure and stay tuned for Mothership tonight at 5:30 p.m. Pacific on Alpha and YouTube. We will see you all tomorrow for an all-new Talks Back at 1 p.m. PT, live on YouTube and Alpha. Have a great day, and bye!
Bye!
Or night if you're watching in New Zealand,